Okay, so it's a little bit before, what is it? A little bit before we're going to SCGCon. Today is Friday, right before the event. I'm not going on Friday, just going on Saturday. And we have started to kind of gather up our cards because we are doing a challenge for this event. We are going through our bit of bulk. I say bulk. Our collection. We're going through our collection and looking for cards that we have duplicates of, cards that we're not using a lot of, and we're going to try to challenge ourselves to trade in some of our piles to get a dual land. Can we do it? Will it work out the way that we want it to? Will we get enough money? We will see. So we're going to start going through our binders, going through our collection, and see if we can find anything worthwhile to pull aside. We've already found a couple of things, so let's see how it works out for us. We are at SCGCon DC today, so we're going to be running around doing some exploring, seeing what we can find. We're going to try to sell some of our cards and see how much store credit we can get at one of the booths and see if we can get close to getting a dual land. That's our kind of goal for today's video. See how close we can get with, because we basically took apart some decks we weren't really using anymore. We had a bunch of commander decks that were just been sitting around in boxes and in quivers that we're just like, I haven't played these in a while. So let's strip away some of the cards that we can maybe get something a little bit more valuable, especially with our LGS that we're playing at is going to start doing some legacy for their F&M for their circuit. So I was like, yeah, maybe we can get a dual land, start playing a little bit more legacy. You guys know I play Infect, but let's see what dual land we can get, because I doubt we'll get up to the tropical numbers with just the small bit of cards that we brought today. But this is our first attempt doing this to show you guys what this looks like and how kind of you should be thinking about selling your cards when you go to one of these events here. So. Try to trade in some cards and see what we can get. So what's the name of your guys' booth and shop and stuff like that? Passing through cards. Yep. Yeah. I was walking around seeing a bunch of different booths and I was like, this seems great. Let's stop here and see. So I had taken apart a bunch of commander decks and gotten just like a small pile of stuff, but I figure we can kind of go through and see if there's anything that might be.
Okay, this is good stuff.
Yeah, it's a mix. There's some that are like 20 to 50, some that are like 5 to 10. It's just sort of like a nice mix of things, really. So I had old commander decks that I just was like sitting in quivers that I had not played in. Like,
sitting in those.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, let's just actually strip these apart and see if we can get anything worthwhile from it.
So there's a couple things that I will pass on just because we're smaller. We only do traveling shows.
Makes sense.
So we just have a lot of copies of like Commander's Plate, Thassa's Oracle, stuff like that.
Okay, makes total sense.
But everything else here looks good. Let's see what we get to.
Yes.
And if you don't mind, I can do it much faster through
Yeah,
this.
that sounds great. Let's do it that way.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Yep. And do you guys trade for credit? Yeah.
Did you know which duel you were eyeing over there?
I mean, my shop's starting to get back into Legacy, and I would love to try to get another Trop, but I don't think I'm anywhere close to that.
What deck are you running?
So, Infect, because, I'm a degen.
Yep.
But so I was like, I already have 2 Trops, and I have a Savannah. So I was like, if I can get another one, maybe we can, but if it's like, if not, then we can see what other cool duel we can pick up and stuff, or get close to it is kind of the goal.
I just built my first 2 legacy decks, actually.
Okay, what'd you go with?
Well, the first one's Red Painter.
Nice.
So that's more of like a net deck.
Yeah.
And then I built, because of the new the new Tide color that came out, I built a mono blue mill with the crabs.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's really nice.
Yeah, that sounds great. I like those kind of decks. You just do like sit here and because people aren't expecting some of those.
Yeah,
and
it probably can't keep up with the meta, but this would get you 197.
197
trade.
for all those. Okay, cool. Seven's pretty good.
Yeah, without the Thasas.
Yeah, that's what I was like, because the Thasas and I think
The big one I think was the Vigor.
Yep, makes sense. I was like, Vigor. Maybe
the
that.
Tiamat's 21.
Okay.
Battle Angel's 22. Oh, and then the Gold Dragon, the Ancient.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so those are the big hits out of all
Yep.
those. Sweet. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Did you want me to bring them over?
Yeah,
The rules?
if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Just brought the whole stack.
Perfect. All right, so 190 to work with. And it's basically like scrubland, savanna, plateau. I don't think I need. You're like, where'd all the duels go? I don't think we're gonna do the
Yep, no
Savannah.
problem.
I know that much.
It's in the case. I guess it's kind of debating on how much cash on top you want to go, because that
Right.
gets pretty high.
It does. That's why it's like I don't have any bayous yet, so I'm also leaning like, oh, do we just put the cash on top and just get our first bayou here?
Or have the utility of
Right,
instant use.
Yeah, right, exactly. Let's go with the trop.
Okay.
Let's do that. And we'll throw cash on top for this one here.
Yeah. So. Great choice. I didn't want to sway you.
I appreciate that. Like, you're
Yeah.
like leaning one way, but it's
Yeah.
like, because I really was thinking about like going for a different one, but I was like, I don't know. I already have 2 trops. I should get closer to getting a play set. And it's like,
It's
yeah.
just gonna evolve the deck quicker. You know
yes,
what I mean?
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
it's like, oh, it's just an untap land. It's like, yeah, but when like
Yeah, when you
you're
think about it,
playing
it's
in a
like you're
format
doing
like
all the
that,
days in and all this stuff. Like, it does add up quick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was nice to
appreciate
meet
it. Nice
you.
meeting you too. I'm doing the SCGCon Adventures, and I don't know how well you guys can hear with the big announcements going on, but we just decided to do the big trade-in with passing through cards. Super friendly, super awesome at the booth there. They're a bit of a smaller booth. That was also kind of our draw to trading in with them compared to some of the bigger ones, of just being like, yeah, here's stuff that we've got. Let's see if we can get close to a duel. Because we did not strip away all the stuff. We kind of priced out what we had. There was a couple of big stuff that they did not need and did not want for it, which was the Thassa's Oracle, Commander's Plate, and a few other cards there. So like we decided to just sort of trade in the rest of it and ended up going to about 190, which was pretty decent chunk. So helped us basically pay for about half or so, a little bit under half for the duel that we wanted. We could have basically paid for a little bit more than half depending on the different duel. You got to see a little bit of which ones they look like, but because we're going for the Infect for Legacy, especially at our shop, we wanted to make sure that we got another one to be able to use in our deck. And plus, you guys know we're Sultai gamers through and through, right? We already have Underground Sea, we already have some Trops, we already have Savannah. We could have gone for a Bayou, that was the other one that we were leaning towards, but because it doesn't really fit for our Legacy Infect, we decided to go with that. But we've got a few more cards. Let's see if we can maybe offload the Thassa's Oracle and the Commander's Plate and see if we can get some other goodies for the weekend here. So let's keep going and hunting and seeing how the trades go. Selling the last of the cards, we could have done $50 credit, but there's not any cards that we're really looking to pick up other than the big dual land. And so since we did the 190 credit to that shop and we put cash on top, well, card we paid with because we're kind of anticipating how much we were going to spend, but we didn't want to bring all the cash with us for that. So we were like, yep, we'll just basically offset it and go. This basically pays back some of what we owe. So now we're basically on this new goal here is we've got to break even with other cards that we're going to start selling, whether it's to our local shop, other shops around the area, to basically offset the cost, because that's the whole goal, right? Is can we do it all? We could not do it all in one sitting here of basically pump and dump through some of our stuff, but also we only got a small handful from our commander decks. We didn't spend as much time going through things. There's lots of other stuff that we've got that we are not using that we're going to start going through and piecing together to kind of basically start just turning them into dual lands, right? We have a lot of bulk though, so which doesn't really help as much when they're like less than $1 a card. But you know, a lot of these venues and cons and stuff like that are going to pay higher on higher end cards. We got caught in the bulk bins. It's how it goes, but like you can find so many goodies in those. Specifically, we were at the Toa booth looking through. They had it color coordinated, and so we got some goodies. We tried to limit ourselves and say we're only going to look in the $3 bin, and we found a bunch of modern 2015 cards. So we'll show you guys a little bit about what we got real quick. We did the bulk bin, and let's take a look at what we got here. So Dark Ritual. I mean, everybody likes Dark Ritual, all right? $3, not bad. Got our play set of Aether Vials. We got 2 play sets of Gataxian Probe. Modern 2015 called to me. Ventilian Click, we decided to pick up 2. Gaddock Teed, you can kind of start to see if you know what sort of decks. And then we found some pieces to put our Hive Mind, Amulet Titan, and then these are for current modern. But, you know, having them in the sideboard for my Eldrazi deck, I feel like, or my Tron deck is pretty worth it, because I don't currently, so I'm thinking about at least picking them up. Because, you know, I don't really have much Eldrazi pieces anymore, so figured we'd go with that. But pretty happy with these pickups today. It's been all about grabbing and picking up cards while at the event. Okay, so we're at SCGCon DC, and I just talked to one of my favorite artists here, Alex Dos Diaz. His booth is behind me here, and asked him, could you enhance my playmat? Could you do some cool art on it, some cool designs? Since he's already signed it, he signed the posters and prints that I've gotten from him before, but I wanted a little bit of extra art to be added to it. So we're gonna look in a little bit and see what cool things he did to enhance the playmat itself. How's it going, boss? Let's see. Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, let me see. Let's see if we can show this off right here. Yeah, that's great. I love that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate your work. So, you know, doing that little touch is. Let's show you guys the playmat and what we showed a little bit, but let's really take a look at this thing. All right, Alex Dos Diaz was able to do a little bit of art for me. You know, we talked about him have signed it previously, but take a look at this amazing playmat. And then he did a little bit of enhancement to it. Look at this cool art that he did. told me that he really wanted to kind of lean into this like Neon Dynasty, like cyberpunky, Blade Runner style, like futuristic style to go with it. He was debating about doing some traditional samurai style, but decided to lean into this, which I think fits perfectly with the playmat itself. So very happy with how that turned out.